Hello everyone, welcome to Basic to Advanced of MS Excel Session 2 Part 1. In this session we will be discussing about various topics of Excel. So let's begin the session. Type of unit to another, there is a convert function in Excel and this is really useful if you are in science field or engineering field. The syntax for this function is as follows: equal function name, that is convert, opening parenthesis, select string, comma, select the unit from which you are going to convert, comma, select the unit to which you want to convert, then close the parenthesis. Now the first argument is the number that you are trying to convert. Always remember one thing, write units in quotations, as convert function accepts the following units in quotations only. So that's how you can use convert function in Excel, and hopefully some of you will find this quite useful. Now we move forward to demonstration video.
This is the demonstration of convert functions. This function is very useful for engineering students as they perform calculations which involve conversion from one measurement system to another. The syntax for convert function is shown in the text box, that is equal to convert bracket the number which you have to convert, comma, the initial unit, comma, the final unit. Now I will give you examples to make it more clear. Here I am going to convert meters to inches. I'll write the formula here as equal to convert bracket. I'll select 2 as my number, comma. Now from this suggestion box I can select the unit from which I have to convert. I have to convert from meter, so I'll just double click on this, comma, 2 inches, so double click on this and close the bracket and enter. So here I get the value. Now note that convert function is case sensitive, that is, instead of small m, if I write capital M, then it is going to be invalid. So make sure that you write in the standard form and you write it in double quotes. Now, if you are well versed with the standard forms of all the unit systems, then you can simply write down those unit systems in the next column the way I have written. That is, for year I have written YR, and for seconds I have written SEC. Now, what you have to do is you can simply select those cells and write down the formula, that is equal to convert. I'll select 80 as the number, comma, YR as my first unit system, comma, SEC as the second unit system, close the bracket and press enter. So I get these many seconds. Now I can also write it in scientific form, that is I can select here scientific to get the scientific notation of the seconds. So this was all for convert functions.
Making name range dynamic. In this PPT, we are going to see how to work with name range, how to create, rename, and how to use name range in your worksheet. So, I will be explaining why you want to do this and what are advantages of doing so. In name range, it is good idea, instead of using ranges like that, you simply name that row or range. How to name a range? Click and drag to select the range of cells and then click on name box, which is at the upper left corner, and type a name for the range which is familiar. Now, what are the conventions for naming range? Name for range must start with a letter. Create names that provide specific meaning to the range or should be familiar to that range. Spaces cannot be used in creating a name range. Instead, use a underscore or hyphen character, or simply capitalize the first letter of each word. Do not use combination of letters and numbers that resemble the cell references. For example, A3, B4, C2, etc. etc. Now, what's the use of naming range? Name range is enabling you in navigating through complex sheets. Now here what actually navigating is. Like if you have lost in any other sheet and if you want to go back for a particular range in another sheet, you don't have to struggle finding that sheet. Just go to name range in name box and type name of whichever range you assign, and then cursor will dedicate you to that place. So you will see the dancing ants. That means the range has been selected. So this is the advantage of navigating between the workbook or worksheets. Now we will discuss about renaming of ranges. So now I have given a name range to one place. What if I want to rename that? So how do I do this? This was the shortcut method for creating a name range. Now there's a longcut method for renaming it. So you go to Formula tab, you see there's a name manager. So click on name manager, you will get a dialog box and then you will see the tab of your name range. What if you want to rename it? Just click on edit button and you will get a dialog box there. You can change the name and click on OK. So this way you can rename the name range. So this was all about name ranges. Now we move forward to demonstration video. In this slide you will see the position of name box.
This is the demonstration of making named ranges dynamic. Gradually, you will see the advantage of using named ranges. Now, in this example, there is a table of ice creams, their quantity and their price. So, we wish to calculate the total number of ice creams, total price, and the highest price. So how are we supposed to do? With the basic knowledge of Excel, you can calculate total number of all these quantities just by using the inbuilt formulas. And here, to calculate total number of ice creams, I am going to sum the quantity. So use the formula equal to sum bracket, and I'll select the range of quantity, then bracket close and enter. Similarly for price, I'll calculate equal to sum bracket, then I'll select the range of price and bracket close and enter. Now instead of selecting the ranges, you can just name them. So how are we supposed to do that? You have to select the column quantity, and here right above there is a name box. You can just change the name to quant and press enter. Similarly, for price, you can select this column and change the name to cost maybe and enter. Now, to calculate highest price, it is better to use named variable rather than the ranges in order to avoid confusion. So here to calculate highest price, I can write equal to max cost bracket close and enter. So I got 20 as the highest price. So this was all for making named ranges dynamic.
This is the basic syntax for various functions which begins with an equal, then the function name, opening parenthesis, argument 1, comma argument 2 and so on, and then closing parenthesis. This slide is regarding the logical operators such as less than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and does not equal. And towards the right, these are some common function errors which arise when there is typing mistake or mistake while giving the command. Advanced logical functions. First, countif function. This function is basically used for counting cells within the range that meet a particular condition or criteria. You can write a COUNTIF function or formula to find out how many cells in your worksheet contain a number greater than or less than the number you specify. Syntax for this function is as follows. These functions begin with an equal, then the function name, that is COUNTIF, opening parenthesis, select the range of criteria, comma, select the criteria, and then close the parenthesis. Second, SUMIF function. The Excel SUMIF function returns the sum of cells that meet the single criteria. Criteria can be applied to dates, numbers, text, etc. So the syntax for this function is as follows: equal SUMIF, opening parenthesis, select the range, comma, select the criteria, and then select the sum range, then close the parenthesis. So let's see the execution of these functions in preceding slides. In this slide, we will discuss how to execute the COUNTIF function in Excel. In this example, we are using COUNTIF function to determine how many rows has been delivered, pending and cancelled status. Now, first type the syntax, that is equal COUNTIF, opening parenthesis, select the range, that is from D5 to D13, comma, type the delivered status in double quotes, then close the parenthesis. Once you press enter, Excel will count the amount and the result will be displayed. The count of delivered status is 3, as you can see in upper right corner. Now repeat the same procedure for pending and cancelled status. In the preceding slides, we will discuss about how to execute the SUMIF function in Excel. So start the formula with an equal sign and then read the question carefully. Since the question has been asked for total allowance for total cells which are greater than RM 50,000, what you need to do is create the formula similar to as shown. Then you need to highlight the total cell column, then refer to question which tells us that total cells must be greater than RM 50,000. So highlight the allowance column and then simply press enter after the closing parenthesis, and now the results will be displayed as RM 6000. Since the question has been asked for total cells greater than RM 45,000, the syntax for calculating this is as follows: equal SUMIF, opening parenthesis, select the range which is from A4 to A10, comma, type the criteria which is greater than 45,000 in double quotes and then closing parenthesis, and press enter. The results will be displayed. So this was all about advanced logical function. Now we move forward to demonstration video.
This is the demonstration of advanced logical functions. In this video, we are going to cover the topics COUNTIF and SUMIF functions. So let us begin with this. We have a ice cream sales table here. Now we are gonna tally the number of sales for each of the seller. So the first step is to eliminate the duplicates from this seller column. So what I will do is I will copy the seller column, paste it over here. Okay, now I will remove all the duplicate elements from this. So to do this, I will go to data and I will click on remove duplicates, then I will press OK, and all the duplicate elements have been eliminated. Now to calculate number of sales, we will use the COUNTIF function. So we will write equal to COUNTIF bracket start. Now select the range. So this seller, first seller column would be our range, and criteria would be this one, and close the bracket and enter. So it will uh, count all the sales of Charlie and the respective sellers. Okay, so next we have to calculate total sales of all the sellers. So to calculate total sales, we will use the SUMIF function, that is equal to SUMIF. It has three parameters. First one is range, so we will select the range as the seller, comma criteria would be this one, and third, what we have to sum, we have to sum the sales, so we will select this, close the bracket and enter. When I drag it down, I get this total sales. Now since this is rupees, I will change the currency. Okay, next, if I want to find the ice cream production, similarly here, now instead of the seller column, we will take the ice cream column and we will paste it here. Now again we will remove all the duplicate elements, so go to data, remove duplicates, and okay. So now we have to calculate the total quantity of each of the flavors. So to do this, I will use the SUMIF function, equal to SUMIF bracket, range would be the ice creams range, comma criteria would be this one, comma sum, you have to sum the quantity. Okay, and close the bracket and press enter. So when I drag it down, I'll get the total quantities of each of the flavors. To find the maximum quantity out of these, I will just use the max function, which is equal to max, bracket open, select these numbers, close the bracket and enter. So 17 is the highest quantity, which is the butterscotch. So this was all for advanced logical functions.
Common text functions. In this slide, we will look for text related functions. Concatenate. This function basically joins the string or text. Second, find function. This function usually finds the text within the text. Left function. This function returns a string, or this function returns the leftmost character from the text. Len function. This function returns a number that represents the number of characters. Mid function. This function returns a mid string extracted from that text. Right. This function returns the rightmost character from the text. There are extra or unwanted spaces in between words or before you start words. So that time, how do you get your data properly done? For removing the unwanted spaces between two words, there is a text function known as trim. So trim will remove that. How to use it? It starts with an equal and then the function name, that is trim. Now after opening parenthesis, select the cell address of whichever text you want to trim, then close the parenthesis and simply press enter. You will get the desired answer. Now let's see all these text functions one by one in detail. This is an example using which we will be executing all the text functions. Left function. Left is the function which is used to get the leftmost character in this text. So the syntax for this function is as follows: equal left opening parenthesis. Now select the cell address of the text, comma. In second argument, just type the number, then you will get that much number of characters from the left side of text, then close the parenthesis and press enter. Here, as you can see in the slide, the execution of left function is done. Here you get the three leftmost characters, which are MIL, from the word Miller in the cell B3. Next I have something known as len function. This function is used to calculate length of text and it includes spaces also. The syntax for this function is as follows: equal, then the function name, that is len, then inside the bracket enter the cell address of the text, then press enter. You will get the length or number of characters in your text. So in above example, we have used length function to find the length of the string Miller, which is in cell P3, and we have got 6 as the word Miller has 6 characters. Right function, it is used to get the rightmost characters. The formula is same as left function, that is equal right, inside bracket the first argument is cell address, comma the number, then type the number, then you will get that much number of characters from the right side of text. In the above picture we have extracted hn from the word John in cell A3. As per the formula, we have extracted the two rightmost characters from the word John. Next I have made function. If you want some middle text inside the text, there's a mid function. This function is bit lengthy as it has more parameters. First is for text, second for start number, and third for number of characters. So select the text, comma, select the start number, that means do you want to start with first, second, third, etc. characters from the text, and then select the number of characters to be extracted from the text, close the bracket and press enter. In the above picture, we have extracted 3 letters. Those are ILL, starting from the second letter from the middle of the string Miller, which is in cell number B3. Find or search function. Both the functions are used to find the position of substring inside the string, or the function will give you the position number of alphabet in the string. Instead the fact that find is case sensitive and search is not case sensitive. The syntax for this function is as follows: equal find, then type the string or substring in double quotations, comma, type the cell address and close the bracket. In above picture, we have found the position of substring OH from the string John, which is in cell number A3. Next is substitute function. If you want to replace or substitute text, you can use this function. The formula is equal substitute opening parenthesis, select the cell address. This cell contains the string that to be replaced, then select the string which is to be replaced, and then select the string that is to be replaced with, and then close the parenthesis. In the above picture, we have replaced John with Sean using the substitute function.
This is the demonstration of text functions in Excel part 1. In this video, we are going to cover functions like left, right, mid, len, find or search, upper, lower. Now I am going to use one of the longest string, that is Nemono ultra microscopic silico volcano coniosis. To begin with, the len length function. To determine the length of the string, I'll write the form as equal to len and it has an argument of the string only. Close the bracket and enter. So it has 45 characters. Length function also counts spaces. Next is the left function. It determines the leftmost character, so equal to left. First argument is the string and second argument is optional. Enter. So p is the leftmost character. Then if you have to find leftmost 10 characters, then for this the second argument in the left function comes into picture. So text, so it will be the string, comma, so first leftmost 10 characters, so I'll write 10 as the second argument and press enter. Next, the mid function. So mid function determines the middle characters. So it has three arguments equal to mid. First argument will be the text. Second argument will be the starting number. So length is 45, so around 22 would be the middle, and comma, the number of characters from 22 to what position. So if I want the next 5 digits, so I will 5 characters, then I'll write 5, close the bracket and enter. So this will be the middle string. Next is the right function. Right function is almost similar to the left function. So equal to right, it takes this string as the argument, close the bracket and enter. So it will return s as the last character, but here I have to calculate the rightmost 5 characters, so I'll write down the second argument as 5 and enter. So it will return the rightmost 5 characters. Now next is the find function. Find function returns the position of the substring within the string, and it is also case sensitive. So equal to find. Now first argument will be what text to find, so I have to find micro, comma, in which string, in this string, and close the bracket and press enter. So at 14th position micro starts. Now next is the search function. Search and find are both very similar except for the fact that search is not case sensitive, and here we have to find search for no. Now in this string there are two instances of no. First one is this and second one is here. So which position will this search return? It will return the first instance of no. It will always return the first instance of the particular string. So here equal to search bracket, which text, no, then comma and this string, then close the bracket and enter. So at 7th position it finds the first no. Now if we have to calculate the second no, I will write it as, I will write the extra parameter, that is here. Now I know that at 7th position first instance of no is there, so I'll write 8 as my starting point to search for no, and it will give me the second instance of no, that is at position 36. Next, the upper and lower function converts the string into uppercase and vice versa. So the upper equal to upper, equal to upper, it has the argument as this text, close the bracket and enter. Similarly lower function works, so close the bracket and enter. Now using these functions you need to there is a small task. You need to separate the first name and last name. I'll give you an example. So this is the string duck comma Donald. Now in the last name I want duck and in the first name I want Donald. So how should I do it? Using these functions. So only basic functions, left, length, find, these functions would be used. Now to find the last name duck, I will use the leftmost function first. So equal to left, then this string. Now to find out the number of characters I want till comma. So comma, I'll first find the position of comma. So find position of comma, position of comma in this string, right? Close the bracket. So this find function will return 5 as the output, and I want the first 4 digits as my last name, so I'll subtract 1 from this and close the bracket. So it will return duck. Now to find the first name I'll use return right as my major function, equal to right, then this string. Now how many rightmost characters? So here I will use length of the whole string, minus the position of comma. It will give me the rightmost characters. So find position of comma in this string, and close the bracket again, and enter. So it gives me the first name, and when I drag it down, I get Chaplin as last name, and here when I drag it down, I get Charlie as the last name. So this was all for text functions in Excel part 1.
Join strings or concatenate function. If you want to join strings or text, you use function known as concatenate. The function is very simple. You just have to enter syntax, that is equal concatenate opening parenthesis select text 1 comma select text 2 close the parenthesis. By this way you can join two strings. But remember one thing, there will be no space in between. So what you have to do is simply add double quotation mark in between two text and then press enter. In above example, we have added John Miller from two cells A3 and B3. So this was all about concatenate function. Now we move forward to demonstration video.
This is the demonstration of text functions in Excel part 2, that is to join strings. In this video we are going to learn three functions: concatenate function, AND function, and trim function. To begin with the concatenate function, I have written HELLO in different cells because in this argument must be a single cell and it ignores an empty cell. So I have to write all these elements into a single string. To do so, I will write equal to concatenate bracket. Now I cannot select whole thing as a range. I have to take one cell at a time. So B4 comma B5 comma B6 comma B7 comma B8, close the bracket and enter. Now here if I remove an element, then the changes get reflected to the original output as well. The drawback of concatenate function is that I have to take one cell at a time. So that is a bit slacky. To overcome this, there is a new function in Excel, that is concat function, which is available in the newer versions of Excel. Since this is an older version of Excel, it cannot be demonstrated right now. Now, to another alternative of concat function is the AND function. AND function works in a similar way as concat function. So I will demonstrate the AND function here. Now I have to write hello there together. So I will write equal to in double quotes hello. Then I have to add a space. So I will write and then blank inverted commas, then again and then here in another inverted commas there, and press enter. So I get hello space there. And function also works in arrays. Now here since this is an older version, the procedure is a bit different. First I have to highlight the area of output, then I will write the command as equal to, I will select the whole range, and next select the whole range, and next select the whole range. What this is going to do is it is going to combine all the columns to form a string. So I have to press Ctrl plus Shift plus enter in the older versions. If you have a newer version of Excel, you can just simply write the command and press enter. It will work well. So I get the output as this. Now next is the trim function. Trim function removes the spaces at the beginning or end of the string. It also ensures that there is only one space between the two strings. Here in this string you can see that there is non-uniform spacing between the strings. So to overcome that, trim function is used. The syntax is very simple and it is as this: equal to trim, in bracket I'll just pass the string, and close the bracket and enter. So I get a uniform string here. Using all these text functions, there is a small exercise for you all. That is, I'll show you an example here. In the last part, I have shown you how to separate the last name and first name for this string. Now I have to write the email using this last name and first name via the function AND. So to make an email, I have to make an email as follows: duck.donald@gmail.com. So to write this email, I will use AND function. How? Equal to last name, then and now I have to add a dot in between, so I will write a dot in inverted commas, then and again I'll select first name, then again and then I will write in double inverted commas @gmail.com, then close the double inverted commas and press enter. So I get the email ID as follows. So this was all for the text functions part 2.
I hope you learnt about convert function, name ranges and some of the advanced logical functions and text functions. So that's all for today's session. Thank you.